Daniel Part's journey is not what most people think it is. On the surface, it looks like a transformation story. Weak becomes strong, invisible becomes seen, nobody becomes somebody. And yes, all of that is true. But strip away the layers and what Daniel's path is actually about is something far more specific and far more replicable than a simple underdog arc. Daniel Part becomes dangerous because he becomes a complete receiver. He learns to take in more information than anyone around him, process it faster, adapt to it more efficiently. And in the ability that separates him from every other fighter, he learns to copy, not imitate, not approximate, genuinely absorb and replicate the physical language of fighters who spent years building what he's observing for the first time. That combination, heightened senses, total body control, and copyability working together as a single integrated system is Daniel's real path. And today we're walking it starts where Daniel started. Not with copyability, not with body control, with awareness. Before Daniel could copy anything, he had to actually see it fully, not the broad strokes that casual observation captures. The specific details that exist beneath the surface of any elite physical performance. The micro-shifts in weight distribution before a strike launches. The breathing pattern that signals fatigue before the body visibly shows it. The tell in the eyes that appears a fraction of a second before the movement begins. This level of observation requires senses that have been deliberately sharpened over time. Your visual processing has to expand beyond the center point. Your hearing has to learn to pick up information layered underneath the obvious sounds. Your proprioception, your internal awareness of your own body positioning, has to become precise enough that you can feel misalignment in your own movement without needing external feedback. Begin this training the way Daniel begins everything. From scratch. With humility. With the understanding that your current sensory baseline is not your ceiling, it is simply where you are right now. Spend time daily in deliberate sensory practice. Eyes fixed, periphery activated. Cataloging movement at the edges without chasing it with your focal point. Ears processing environmental layers and familiar spaces until the background noise becomes a detailed map. Body moving slowly through exercises with complete attention to every position, every point of contact, every subtle shift in balance. Do this for weeks before you add anything else. Now, body control. Daniel's copyability only works because his body can actually execute what his mind receives. This is the piece most people skip entirely. In their excitement to develop the ability itself, you cannot copy what your body is incapable of performing. And your body's capability is determined entirely by how precisely you've trained it to respond to instruction. Body control is built through slowness first and speed later. Take every movement you train and perform it at half speed with double the attention. Demand that every point in the movement is clean before you allow momentum to carry you through it. This is uncomfortable because momentum is comfortable. It hides weakness. Slow movement exposes every gap in your physical vocabulary and forces you to address each one individually before the full movement can flow. Weeks of this build something that fast training never can: genuine ownership of your own movement. The ability to place your body exactly where you intend it, in exactly the position you choose, with exactly the force you decide to apply. That ownership is what Daniel's body control looks like from the outside. Now, copyability. This is where Daniel's path becomes genuinely extraordinary and genuinely trainable. The human brain contains mirror neurons, a system specifically designed to simulate observed movement internally. When you watch someone perform a physical skill, your brain rehearses it. Most people receive this gift passively and never develop it deliberately. Daniel develops it obsessively. The training is deceptively simple. Watch elite movement with complete, undivided attention, not casually, not as entertainment. Analytically identify the structure underneath the surface, the weight shifts, the timing, the spatial relationships between different body parts throughout the movement. Build a mental model so detailed it becomes a blueprint. Then attempt to execute it, slowly, without ego attached to the early failures. Each failed attempt is your body and your mental model negotiating toward accuracy. The gap closes with every repetition if your attention stays sharp and your humility stays intact. Combine sharpened senses feeding cleaner information into a mental model that your body-controlled physical system can actually execute, and the copyability that looks supernatural in Daniel Park becomes a logical outcome of a very specific and very learnable process. This is Daniel's real path, not a gift, not a cheat code, not anime logic disconnected from reality. A system built piece by piece, sense by sense, movement by movement. Complete the system and become what Daniel becomes. Someone who walks into any environment, reads it completely, and adapts faster than anyone around them can respond. This is AMV Inspire Me, and Daniel's path was always open. You just have to walk it.